Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, guys. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. 2 is officially confirmed, and I just saw the press conference, and it was absolutely insane. Like Chris Eubank, like I did not expect him to be this dominating from the beginning, like this explosive, like from the absolute beginning of the promotion. Like the way he was like destroying Eddie Hearn. It was insane. And yeah, I know a lot of the things that he said, like Eddie Hearn blocking his ambulance or whatever, like that was probably fake, and it probably had nothing to do with Eddie in the first place. But still, you have to give the man his credit. Like Chris Eubank, like he can sell a fight. Like he is like one of the biggest loudmouths in British boxing history, I would say at this point. And he definitely got it from his father, because Chris Eubank Senior was also a very marketable marketable fighter, and he was also like he was also a very great trash talker, like his son, of course. I'm sorry, I know it's opposite, but still. Anyways, like as far as Conor Benn goes, he was obviously pretty quiet. Most of the talking was between Eddie and Chris Eubank, of course, as usual. Whenever Eddie, whenever Eddie Hearn starts to speak about anything, he was trying to talk about Ricky Hatton passing away, which is obviously a very sad news for us. But still, anyways, like even that Chris Eubank, he did not allow Eddie to even comment on that. Which obviously might have been a bit too far. Because Eddie was genuinely like trying to like talk about like Hatton passing away. But still, anyways, like you have to look at the masterclass that Chris Eubank Jr. is doing here, because it's like we don't see these like trash talks at this level usually these days. Because back in the days, yeah, we obviously had a lot of high level rivalries. For example, yeah, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, those were like some insane press conferences and whatnot. Even like Derek Chisora versus Dillian White, those were like absolute like super like those were like promotion at its absolute peak. Like those were the fights which got us the most excited for back in the day. And nowadays we have rivalries at those levels with Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn and whatnot. Obviously Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank, the first fight was obviously like, I would say, honestly, obviously Chris Eubank won by like a lot of rounds, and it was obviously an absolute dog fight. But still, I can't help myself but think that there was a lot of points where I was actually pretty scared for Chris, because I was backing him up. So there were a lot of times that I thought that Chris might just get knocked out here, because like if it wasn't for the size of Chris Eubank, like if Conor and Chris was the absolute same size, like from the same weight division and whatnot, there's no way that Chris Eubank would have survived Conor Benn. Honestly, credit to Chris Eubank's durability there, because Conor Benn, like those punches that Conor was throwing, those were landing clean, and those were like very heavy shots, like very hard shots, like dham, insane, like absolute cinema. And in this fight, obviously Conor will try to adjust, but yeah, I feel like last time it was basically like the worst version of Chris Eubank. The drained out. He just got fined out of like he just got fined like 500k or some shit. Like it was basically like the worst version of Chris Eubank versus the prime undefeated, the best Conor Benn, and we all saw what happened. So like as far as Conor Benn goes, like like he couldn't defeat the worst version of Chris Eubank. This time obviously Chris has like made that weight once, so he knows what he's doing. This is a new grounds for him. So like as far as like Conor Benn, like if you couldn't beat that version of Chris, how the hell do you think you can beat him in a rematch? Like obviously you can think like that, but it's not logical, bro. Like you fought him at his worst and you lost. I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna say you got dominated, but you lost. And now you're fighting him again. This time he knows you much more than you know him. And the only way I can see Conor Benn actually winning this fight is by knockout. If it goes to the decision, no way in hell Conor's gonna win, because Chris has a much better cardio than Conor. Like after that fight, as far as improvements goes, because yeah, that fight obviously at the ending especially, Chris was like tiring out a lot. But now he has now he has fought Conor once. He has a lot of data on Conor. and he knows that Conor will be explosive from the very beginning. Last time that caught Chris by surprise, but this time Chris knows what's up. And this will obviously be an absolute mega fight. Because we all saw the first fight and how that turned out. And more than anything, I'm really excited for it. I'm really glad that the rematch is happening because yeah, even though the outcome is kinda obvious, but still you have to understand. This is a huge fight, and I'm not guaranteeing Chris to win, but as I said, there is a very high chance that Conor will can and might land that one shot, that might drop Chris and even end him, even sleep Chris Eubank. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it, guys. You guys let me know what you guys think, and I know I haven't uploaded for a while now, but don't worry, I'm back and I'm active. So inshallah, I'll see you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.